Assalamualaikum everyone. Thank you so much for waiting for me. This is a learning curve. This is my first live with an audience. If you guys can hear me, please put a yes in the chat box so we can begin, inshallah. Um, I am going to be discussing something that is very close to my heart, and I'm launching my Peaceful Profit Through Investing course. And the thing that we are going to learn today is how to pick a company. There are three factors in how to pick a company, and they determine your success in day trading. For people who are watching as a replay or anytime after this live, day trading is simply a concept in which we are investing in a company which is going to be profitable. So we are picking a company, buying a stock price at a lower price, and selling it for a profit at a higher price. And this is a way of making a consistent living. This is a way for you to not depend on your payday. This is a way for you to fund gifts, travel, Hajj, house, anything and everything. And so picking a company is an art. um, it's such a beautiful, for me it's like an adventure because it constitutes three parts. The first thing you look for when you are picking a company is simply, what is the history of the company. And before we dive into the nuts and bolts of how to pick a company, why should you be investing in day trading, I need to do a disclaimer that all information is for um, educational purposes only. We are not, this is not a client relationship being established. And the no tax advice is given. My name is Dr. Miralazum Khalil. If this is the first time you're encountering me, and I am a veteran investor, I have been investing for the past 21 years, and I have day traded for the past 10 plus years. Um, the first question that I want to address before I move into how should you pick a company is that why do I insist and persist that day trading should be learned with a mentor. It should be learned live. It's because there are thousands of YouTube videos on how to day trade. There are thousands of YouTube videos uh, on to how to analyze a chart, how to analyze a trade. The problem with all of them is that they are not applicable to everyone, and people end up losing money. They don't know where to begin, they don't know where to end. And so I have created a system in which I make it so simple for everyone to be able to day trade. I want you to learn how to day trade, which is meaningful to you. And I want you to understand to manage your risk is the number one factor when you day trade. Day trading is different from long term trading. When you are, sorry, from long term investing, where when you're investing long term, you simply put money into an ETF, a mutual fund, or an index fund, and you leave it at that. But when you are day trading, you are putting, it's risky. You're picking a company from many factors, and we're going to discuss the three factors that I am going to teach you in depth in my 12-week course. So, without a further ado, um, how to pick a company. The first thing we have to see is that you don't pick a company randomly. I don't care if it's a well established company or it's a new company. The first thing you have to do is to look for 6 months of data on that company. Now, for some people, this is going to scare them off. I do not have the time or the capacity to discuss what to see in the past 6 months, but it's not combing through every single day of the past 6 months. It's pertinent data that I tell you to look for. So there are certain things you look for, but you have to go back 6 months at least. You cannot buy the stock for Apple today. uh, that is just that is not just my opinion. I am a veteran trader, and everybody will tell you that you need to understand how is Apple performing for the past 6 months. It does not matter, remember, how well established the company is. It matters how it has been performing for the past 6 months, because again, you are day trading to make a profit. Even if a company is well established, sometimes companies go through ebb and flow, and you might be investing in a time when the expenses of that company are more than a profit. So next time, you buy a company like Apple or Tesla, you're really excited, you just jumped into the stock without bothering what the stock price was, without bothering how the company has been performing in the past 6 months, without bothering about global news, without bothering about companies' internal news, without bothering about what the company's financial projection is, without bothering about what the company's internal structure, if it's going through any ups and downs, if they're firing a CEO, if they're keeping a CEO. All of this matters when you are picking a company, no matter how well established it is. This is why people go into really well established companies. They are called blue chip stocks, which means established huge companies, $1 trillion budgets. And then, in a few days, the stock prices dip. Why does the stock price dip? Again, because you never saw all the things that you needed to see. You never went back 6 months. You never saw all these things. And you just jumped into the stock because XYZ influencer said it, or your husband said it, or God knows you overheard somebody in the supermarket and they were like, I made so much money in the stock, and you just jumped into it without looking at a full picture. And so these are the three things. You're going to look at 6 months of history of the company, no matter how well established it is. You are going to look at the company news, how the company has been performing, and you are going to look at the share price. You are going to look at the price at which you are buying. And when we are discussing, or when we are going through my course, week after week, you will completely understand, because I repeat so much that it will become second nature. uh, Me having to do this live every single week is completely beneficial to you, because I repeat the information to the point that if you are attending live, watching replays, or doing at least 30-40% of what I ask you to do, that is just attending live, you are going to have enough material, overlapping, enough repetition, enough live trading, enough practice, that you are going to be able to pick a company no problem. And not just pick a company, you are going to know when to invest in that company. So picking a company and then when to invest in the company are two separate things, and we're going to discuss this tomorrow, inshallah. So it was a short session. Thank you so much for your patience. Again, I'm going to repeat slowly. When you pick a company, you're not going to pick a company because XYZ said it. You are going to pick a company if you know how they have been performing in the past 6 months. That's number one. Number two, you are following the company news for the past 6 months. Number three, you know that the share price right now is a fair price. It's not really high, it's not really low. And you cannot know this if you are just jumping into a stock. I hope this is helpful. I wish I knew this. I have made huge financial mistakes by jumping into companies that I had no business jumping in, made emotional decisions against what my common sense was saying, because I did not have a mentor who could stop me from making these decisions. And number three, I don't want you guys to invest in companies that you cannot bear the risk for. Some companies, I have to wait for 6 months, but I have a strategy. I'm going in knowing that this company is going to be profitable. For somebody who's a beginner, they need to see some return. If they see some return on investment, it naturally builds their self esteem, if you know what I mean, right? If you see a loss from the get go, very few people are going to stick to it. And this is why when people ask me, why don't I just jump into the day trading course? Why do I um, teach this from an emotional point of view, from a psychological point of view? Why do I teach it step by step? Why do I teach it live? It's because very few people have the money to lose, number one. Number two, no, very few people have the risk tolerance. They do not have the capacity to understand how the market flows. And number three, I personally believe that you can be more successful with a mentor in the beginning, at least, who is not just giving you PDFs and recordings to watch, but who is with you and who you can discuss with live that, do you think this is appropriate? And then they can critique you. Critiquing a trade is invaluable. It is going to save you thousands of dollars. When you spend this money right now, you might think it's, wow, I'm making an investment. But in the long run, you're going to be like, Alhamdulillah, I did not have to go through this on my own. Um, I hope that makes sense. I will see you tomorrow, inshallah. If you guys have any questions, we can put in the chat box. But this is all that I had for today. Tomorrow we are going to be discussing uh, we discussed picking a company, but tomorrow we're going to be discussing when are we going to be making this investment. Once we pick a company, when is the time? And so I will see you tomorrow at 9 p.m. EST. The course is available till November 30th. And I will also tell you why do I start this course on December 1st, and why you should be investing in this course, because you're investing in yourself instead of investing in liabilities, which is um, things on Black Friday. You should be investing in an asset, a life skill this Black Friday, which is going to pay off. So, Assalamu alaikum. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.